The Tups Tarantula. Actually, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do the one
better
that's
than my ex-wife does.
At our age, we can appreciate a tuck fly.
And the most, on the Tups, the most exotic thing is these tippets. I like to use white pheasant tail tippet,
Wow, that's
right?
neat.
Golden pheasant tippets. You could use, this is it's pretty good, I guess, this stuff. A little faded though, but I like it because you see the black, it's fairly straight. It's not curvy. But I'll take one of these fibers out. This is a Daiichi 1710. You got one of these?
Yep.
Okay. Put this in. And this is a nymph hook. I don't know if Turk, the guy that invented this, I think he uses the same hook. And he uses wire on the dubbing. You can do that. But I use this as an indicator fly a lot. And I was telling the guys at the dinner that on like the Missouri River, I'll use this fly as an indicator because I can see it in the water, whether it be smooth, glassy, or rough. And I could see this fly a long ways away. But I want it to float high in the water, so I don't add any extra weight because this nymph hook is pretty strong.
Nice one.
So that's why I don't do that. Okay, and we're going to start the fly right about the 1/4 mark from the eye and right back. Got it right about the barb. I'm going to get one of these. And I want to get about the gape of the hook worth of material. And when I cut these off, I like to hold the tips. And I just burned that up. Pretty close. And I put it about a gape length back. Take a soft wrap. Try to keep them on the top, all the fibers on the top.
Hello.
Yes, dear.
I'll get the milk, don't worry about it.
Oh, I forgot to do mine. Next thing, the dubbing. I like to use hare's ear for this, but if you mix hare's ear with Antron or any of the synthetics, it floats better. Okay, so I put a little ice dubbing in the Antron. And dark deer hair. You can use, if you want to use this for a grasshopper or golden stone, or you can use anything.
What color ice dubbing? What color ice dubbing?
And I get a noodle, put that in there like that. I'm not much of a dubbing freak, but you can probably use a dubbing loop on this, but I twist it on there and I hold the back, and every time I take a turn on this, it's getting tighter. And I try to make like a tapered fly with it. And I want a lot of garbage sticking out of it, so it's rough. Gives it a nice body in the water. Try to keep that everything right at the 1/4 inch marker right there. See, that's a nice rough body. So, pull these out of there. The next thing is some flash.
And crystal flash?
Rainbow crystal flash.
Rainbow crystal flash.
Okay. And I got 3 strands. What I'll do is I'll put it right to about the middle of the tippet. Take a few wraps. Try to keep that on the top. Okay. Then take double that back. Lay that down. And then I go back and I try to stagger them a little bit. If you notice, like on your flash plousers and stuff, if you leave them all one length, it shimmers really nice. But if you stagger the ends down a little bit, it looks more natural, like a fish floating, you know, or a fish moving in the water. Okay. Now I use calf tail for the wing. You can use calf body hair. It's easier to work with and easier to even up the ends on this stuff. But I like the little, I don't like the very end, like this much of the calf tail, because it's squirrely on the very end. I like to use the part where you can see where I cut off, you know, down here. I'll take a little hunk of this out. And you got short hairs and all that stuff, so I take that out. They got two different sizes of hair stalkers. I like the big one for my calf tail because it gives it a little room to even up. You can tell a little bit. Take the odd ones that don't get flared out too much. Now I want to go just about halfway back from the tippet. Okay, so I'm splitting the tippet just about in half with the majority of it. I'm setting it on the top and I'm going to switch fingers. And I'm going to put that right on the top of the hook shank. Take a few wraps, tight wraps. I'm going to take this up and cut it at a taper. Then I'm going to put a thread foundation down here to make it semi-flat. Nice foundation now.
See, the length of the wing was just short of the tail? Or?
About halfway through the tippet. Then I want to smash it a little bit here, so it lays down nice. You don't want it too far up. Okay, now I'm going to take some deer hair I can use, I like to use anything with some nice tips on this one, because we're only gonna go halfway up to white, so you want to have definition showing to you. This looks like it's fairly clean here. Get all the under fur out. And sometimes you get a broken hair, and a broken hair will be flatter on the top. It'll be dull. And the ones that you don't want to pull out are real tapered. So sometimes you can grab them and it'll come right out. Where the tapered ones will slip through your fingers. See, those are pretty good. I'll use my smaller packer on this one.
How much hair did you take for the
About-
part of the head?
About as much as I use for the Goddard caddis, about a half a
pencil.
half
Half
a,
a pencil.
yeah. Another thing, when you get in deer hair, you want to try to make it to where, you see, that's got a little bend to it, but it's pretty straight. You don't want to get the stuff that's bent a lot, because when you stack it, it'll lay down in a curve. So, it's a little trick that I picked up. See how nice that coloration is on that? Pull that out. Then I want this right about halfway up, okay? Okay, then I'm going to switch fingers, and I'm going to leave that right on the top. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to bring down that, so it's going to flare up pretty good. Okay? And I'm going to take a few wraps, like in the Goddard caddis, the first bunch. Come up. Okay. Now, kind of redundant, but I'm going to go back through the tips again. Twice. And let my thread right there. The reason why I did that is because I'm going to put some rubbers on there, rubber legs. You can use any kind of rubber. After I get this done, I'll pass these samples out. You can use 2 segments. That's the way that guy Turk did. But he used solid brown, and he used 2 segments on each leg, make it double. And they don't move as much to me, so I kind of modified it. Then I'm going to lay this right in front and take 1 wrap, 2 wraps. Wrap, 2 wraps, get that right where I want it. You can see that? Okay, now I'm going to hold these back and go in the front again. Oop. Okay, okay, now I learned this little trick in Idaho watching a guy tie a Madam X that he had the legs with. And this is non-toxic wire for weight. I think it's 20. What I do is I take all this stuff and I hold this wire back here. And what I'm getting is the wing tips, the rubber, and the wing and all that stuff, and I'm getting it out of the way because I'm going to spin the front. Okay, so I'm going to hold that back. And I'm going to wrap that. I caught a few of those butts of the deer hair wing, but that'll be all right. And take, try to get the same amount of deer hair, because I got probably a bunch right there, same as the wing. Get all the under fur out, trim up the butts, take the tips off. Fit that right on there. Take 2 wraps, spin it around. Train all that mess back. Get my deer hair packer. From twisting the other way. Okay. So tie it off.
How big a pencil clump was that?
That was a half, about a half. Okay, now I'm going to take everything out of the hook, and I want to make the bottom flat. The thing is, when you're doing this, make sure you don't cut the legs off. Yeah.
Isn't that why you have them folded back under that wire?
Right.
Keep them out of the way.
But you can still do it, I've done it.
Oh.
Just be careful when you're cutting it. And I try to cut like it a little taper going back. You can make a bullet head, or you can. I mean, you could cut this thing all day and it'll disappear on you after a while. Try to cut the ends, but I got some ends from the wing that's trapped in there, so I'm going to have to do this again once I take it out. This is a really buoyant fly, and you could hang zebra midges or soft hackle from underneath it, and it works really good. Okay, now I'm going to take this wire and get all those bitter ends here. Sometimes if you lay your scissors against the wing, you can catch them, most of them. This, you really got to watch for your scissors, your rubber leg now. I'm hard of hearing, what's that?
Kids.
It's kids?
Yeah, we have a playground right behind this building.
I was out there before I came in. They make a little more noise than we do.
Okay, and the only thing left to do is spread your legs out a little bit. Cut them to size. I like the back leg just a tad bit longer than the front leg. That's the Turk's Tarantula.